Sadly, for the first time in a number of years, I'm not able to be with our friends. We've had the meetings in Paris or indeed in Tirana, but I look forward once again joining and showing support for Maryam Rajavi and her 10-point plan for Iran's future. Centerfold in the plan is a vision of complete gender equality, recognizing the leadership of women in politics and all aspects of life and society. No surprise that the Iranian resistance has been led by women for more than 4 decades, and that embodies their plan, giving voice to the most oppressed section of Iranian society, namely women. The regime in Iran cannot, by its very nature, moderate its behavior because it needs repression and it needs terrorism to survive. The Iranian people now want change, as judged by the countless demonstrations and bravery of campaigners, people that want not hollow reform, but want real, meaningful change from their resistance movement led by women. You know, the Iranian regime, in their desperation, may try to characterize our great movement of Iranians around the world and within the country as some kind of historic monarchistic group which seeking to turn the clock back. But no, our movement campaigns for a new Iran, a democratic, free, secular Iran in which the wishes of everybody, the rights of everybody, are wholly respected. And, you know, there's no doubt that the ruling regime in Iran remains a serious threat to the international community. Whether it's the nuclear escalation towards acquiring nuclear weapons, to its ballistic missile program, or its exporting of terrorism to Europe, or support for terrorist groups around the world. The one conclusion today is that the well-being and prosperity of the Iranian people converges with the security interests of Europe and the international community. Simply put, the people of Iran and those of us in the international community have a common enemy. Now, impunity in Iran will never end without international intervention and a meaningful international accountability process. Any further delay in this regard, giving the growing evidence of the involvement of the regime's leaders in serious human rights abuses and the role of Iranian diplomats in terrorism, risks to undermine the global rule-based order and damage the West's credibility as a force for human rights around the world. And like many of you, first joined our campaign for a new secular, free and democratic Iran because of our belief in the most basic human rights, so blatantly and flagrantly ignored by the Iranian government. The regime's state terrorism must be taken seriously by the European countries, and we cannot have a situation where the regime in Iran and its agents and indeed its diplomats are allowed to escape accountability because of political considerations or convenience. They need to be treated as other terrorists and other criminals are treated. Now, as the UN Special Rapporteur for Iran has publicly called on the United Nations and its member states to secure accountability in Iran to end the culture of impunity that exists in that country. Still resolved to do what I can, and many others resolved also to do what they can, to present the choice before the world, which is clear. Stand with the people of Iran, the Iranian diaspora throughout the world, the brave campaigners within the country. Stand with the people of Iran wherever they are and their resistance, because their final victory over the regime is not just a final and necessary victory for the people of Iran, but a victory for the world, for world peace and security in Europe and across the world. Thank you.